Hello friends, today we are going to be finishing our textured fish collages, our artworks we started to paint a while ago. Today we're going to add our fish, we'll talk about some shapes we can learn and use to create our fish, and then we will glue our fish down and add some cool details on the bottom of our artwork to finish it up. So, in class, you probably have talked about all different types of shapes. You probably have talked about shapes like a rectangle. You probably have talked about maybe a diamond. A star is a shape you might have learned about. There are circles, a shape like a heart, a shape like a triangle, or even an oval shape. Today we're going to focus on using a triangle and an oval to create our fish. Everyone is going to get a piece of paper like this on their tray of supplies. Also on your tray of supplies, you will get back your background, you will get some color pencils, and some paper, glue stick, and scissors. We are going to start by using our paper to decorate our fish. We're going to use an oval and a triangle to make our fish today. Now your oval is a little bit bigger and your triangle is a little smaller, so it's easier to make your fish. You will pick one color for your fish to start with today. Before we cut out our fish and glue it onto our background, we are going to decorate our fish. You can choose whatever colors you would like using your color pencils and start to decorate your fish. I'm going to start by drawing an eye and a smile on my fish, almost like the shape of a U with a line next to it. And then you get to choose how you want to decorate your fish. You might make lines like fish scales. We call this a bumpy line. You might make some polka dots. You might make some stripes. Maybe you'll make some curly lines. This is your drawing, whatever you want to create. Whatever you are using to create with today, make sure we are not scribbling, going nice and slow when we are coloring, and filling up our entire fish shape. Once we have decorated our fish, now we are ready to use our friends, the scissors. When we use our scissors, our thumb goes in the small hole, our fingers go in the big hole. So you see my thumb is in the small hole, fingers in the big hole. My thumb is facing up towards the sky, and I am going to go ahead and use small alligator chompers to cut around my fish today. I'm going to keep using small alligator chompers. You see my fingers are in the big hole, my thumb is in the smaller hole, and I'm just going chomp, chomp, chomp. Not super big, because if we get really big, we may hurt our fish or our fingers. So small alligator chompers around the outside of the black line. Until we go back to our starting point. And there we go. Now I've cut out my oval, so I still need to cut out my triangle. And for a triangle, my triangle has straight lines, so I can use bigger alligator chompers. I can open my scissors up, holding my paper with my other hand, being super careful. My thumb is still facing towards the sky, and I'm using big alligator chompers. Now that we have our oval and our triangle, we can go ahead and glue down our fish somewhere on our background. Remember, when we use our friend the glue stick, I like to pretend like it's a bunny rabbit. And we have to be super careful with our bunny. We only pop our bunny up just so its head is popping out of the hole. Then we can go ahead and very gently rub little circles on the back of our fish. I'm going to glue my fish right in the middle. Pet it like a puppy to make sure it sticks. I'll rub some glue on the back of my tail. Glue it behind my fish. And there we go. The last thing we can do is add some paper to the bottom of our picture, like some seaweed or like a coral reef. So to create the paper, you can take whatever colors you have on your tray. You might want to rip them. You might use your scissors and cut them. It's up to you. I like ripping paper because I like the way it sounds and the edge that it gives you when you rip it. So you might rip, whoopsies, you might rip a few pieces to make some seaweed. And I'm just gonna glue the bottom of my seaweed. I'll rub a little bit of glue on the bottom of my paper. Tap down my seaweed. And so I might make my fish hiding behind some seaweed. Maybe your fish will be swimming towards the top of the ocean. If you see that your seaweed is curling a little bit, you can go ahead and glue some seaweed down like that. This is whatever you would like to do. There also will be some other colors of paper on your tray. I'll glue one more piece down. So let's say there's my seaweed for my fish. Now I might want to use some of these rectangle pieces to make some curls. I can take a pencil and I can curl my paper around the pencil, pinching with my fingers, and then roll the pencil with my fingers. It's like I'm rolling my fingers together. And I can make a curl if I want to make some curls on my paper. You can crinkle up your paper, where you take a piece of paper like this and you smush it between your fingers to get some really cool texture on it. Whatever you want to add to your creation. Then I might glue that one down here to make some cool texture for the bottom of my picture. What I don't want you to do is don't just take a piece of paper and glue it over your fish. That won't look very good, and then you'll be covering up your fish. We don't just want to glue shapes on, we want to make our shapes into something else, something new. When you are done, we will put our artworks on the drying rack. Whatever you create, I know it will be awesome. Happy creating, my friends!